This episode of The Unstarving Musician is powered by liner notes. Learn from the hundreds of musicians and industry professionals I've spoken with for The Unstarving Musician on topics such as marketing, songwriting, touring, sync licensing, and much more. Sign up for liner notes at unstarvingmusician.com. It's an email newsletter from yours truly in which I share some of the best knowledge gems garnered from the many conversations featured on The Unstarving Musician. You'll also be privy to the latest podcast episodes and liner notes subscriber exclusives. Sign up at unstarvingmusician.com. It's free and you can unsubscribe at any time. This is The Unstarving Musician. I'm Robonzo. This is my podcast. It features conversations with independent music artists and industry professionals with occasional special topic episodes featuring yours truly. A glimpse into the minds of my varied guests, all intended to help independent music artists better understand the marketing, business, and creative processes that empower us to do more of what we love. Make music. Welcome to another episode. How are you? Where are you? What are you wearing? How are you listening to me? I'm truly grateful for you being here with me today. And before I get to our guest, I want to give a couple of quick shout outs to my friends, former guests of the podcast. First, JJ Lovegrove for winning Best Female Artist Award from Radio Wigwam, a cool UK-based radio station, internet station. I don't think they're terrestrial. But well-deserved, JJ. Congratulations. I know she would love it if you visited her Bandcamp at jjlovegrove.bandcamp.com. And then Chris Taylor has a new live release, a reunion performance with his band Love Coma, also on Bandcamp, christaylor.bandcamp.com. And a link to their prior episodes on the podcast will be in the show notes, as well as a link directly to Chris's latest album. Congrats to you, sir. My guest is Athxna with an X, Athxna. Athxna is a Nashville-based, New Orleans-raised R&B pop singer who started her musical journey on piano at age 5. Wow. She has a new release coming very soon, recording sessions in her hometown of New Orleans, and plans to release more music this year. Athxna has a new sync contract, which she attributes to pursuing a music business education and career. She works for an all-female PR firm based in Nashville and has a bachelor's degree in music industry. She is methodically designing a life and career within the music business. We talk about her upcoming recording projects, her new sync contract, working in the music business, why she moved to Nashville, blues music and the conundrum therein, fashion and style, social media, and more. You can find links to Athxna's work and social media at athxnaofficial.com. And again, that's Athxna with an X, Athxna, because the X is sexy. That's what she said. athxnaofficial.com. Please enjoy my conversation with Athxna. Congratulations on the release of Heartbreak Makes Me Horny. When did it drop?
So, thank you, by the way, I appreciate it. I released it on my birthday this year in April. I did like the waterfall method where I just like kind of released things sporadically, but put together April 26th of this year. And that was pretty much the last thing I released. I have a lot more coming out though, but yeah, it's been a minute, but thank you.
Yeah. It's so funny. The New Year's caught me. And I'm like, oh, she just released it. I saw the 2023. Yeah, I think I may have heard from you earlier in the year, probably around the time it was about to drop. And so cool. Well, what's been going on since then?
Well, thank you. Oh my gosh, so much. And I'm so grateful and I'm so excited. Well, I have a new release coming out in February. I haven't actually talked about it yet. This would be the first time I'm talking about it.
Right.
It's called Crazy. It's about me being crazy. I think I'm going to release it on Valentine's Day because it kind of makes sense. But other than just, creating music, I've been doing a lot of traveling for shows, booking more shows, as many shows as I can, especially in this new year. Going down to New Orleans to record in the studio that I have a manager that lives down in New Orleans. And I go down there frequently and I work with a handful of producers to create some music. So we're trying to release a lot more this year. Last year, like Heartbreak Makes Me Horny came out and there's only like 4 songs, which is great. I'm proud of myself and it was fun. I love recording, I love releasing, but I want to do more. I want to have more visuals out there. I want to have more music out there. So that's kind of what 2024 is going to be like for me, which is so exciting. But other than just recording, I recently signed a sync contract that I'm very pumped about. So hopefully, fingers crossed, you'll see some of my music in movies, TV shows this year. So we'll keep our fingers crossed for that.
Well, that's very exciting. Did your manager help you with that, or is that something you sort of dug up on your own, or how did it come about?
Yeah, that's something that I did myself. He obviously is helping with like the process moving forward and the contract and everything, which is phenomenal. I was like, don't want to deal with that. But I actually work in the music industry aside from just, being a musician and like obviously that's my main focus. But I went to school for music industry studies. So I've been, a musician, but also put myself in the position to know as much as the industry as physically possible. And was able to cultivate that connection myself, which I'm super excited about. And yeah, I work for a PR team in Nashville, an all-female PR team that does PR for musicians. And I'm in the music industry in every single way possible right now. So yeah.
Yeah, what was the tell me about the school a little bit. Where did you go? What was the degree or certification?
Yeah, so I went to Loyola in New Orleans. That's actually how I met my manager, was when I was down there. And we've known each other for a very long time. He's a dear friend of mine as well. So I have a bachelor's degree in music industry and I have a minor's in business as administration as well. The school is great. I mean, it's changed a lot since I've been there, but the program that I was in, it was really like the professors were all people in the music industry. It wasn't just, I mean, not just to say like just teachers, but professionals in the industry that have made some crazy successes. Like my mentor, his name's John Snyder. Oh my gosh, he's amazing. Like he's phenomenal. He's worked so hard in the music industry and has been done some amazing things. He's a producer and of course done other things outside of that, but he used to manage Etta James and he's been like the biggest supporter and the biggest help for me and I'm so grateful for him. But he used to be the head of the music industry program and since then, he's retired from there and he's moved on to he lives in Georgia now and he's doing stuff there. So that's, I'm happy for him. But anyway, but I'm all over the place. The other, sorry, like a squirrel. But some of the other professors there, like Billy O'Connell, he did the music industry like basics and then also like marketing and management. He used to manage the Pixies. He's the person who found the Pixies and made them who they are today. Just some really, really rad people that I was so lucky to learn so much from. And, I did as many internships as physically possible. I didn't really have a social life. I was very much like, this is what I want to do, and I need to network and I need to learn and absorb as much as I could. And I'm just, again, so grateful for Loyola. I'm happy I did it in 4 years, though. I didn't want to, I was so done with college. I wanted to enter the industry as fast as possible. But, New Orleans is a special place, always will be for me, especially. And, had a lot of great opportunities there, met a lot of crazy people in the industry. So it's awesome.
And forgive me if you already mentioned this, but are you based in Nashville now?
Yes, I am in Nashville. I moved here about 3 years ago, and have been, this is where I really started to work on myself as an artist and work on my project, like the quote unquote, like Athxna project. I tried when I was in New Orleans in school, but it's just, I was learning about the business side of it. And that's kind of what my focus was. But here's where I've become the artist that I'm trying to become. So, yeah.
Very nice. It always it seems like the answer would be obvious for this question, and I've thought about asking it for a number of weeks or months, and I never have. And it seems like I always think of it when I'm talking to someone who's in Nashville. And again, it seems like well, the answer would be obvious, but maybe if you have an answer for this,
Yeah.
I'm sure you will. But more specifically than just Nashville, but
Mhm.
why do you live where you live?
Yeah. So, I mean, there's options, right? When you're looking at the music industry, you're thinking, okay, LA, right? Like Easy, LA. But honestly, people from LA are moving here. People from New York are moving here. A lot of the people that you meet in Nashville, they're all from California. It's not even Nashville anymore. It's just the industry is so big here. I know country music is like the main, the main genre here, but BMI is here, ASCAP is here. A lot of just like PRO companies and management companies, labels, it's a hub for like the professional side of the industry, the people that can get you to where you want to go. So that was the driving force behind that for me. And of course, I had the influence of my professors saying like, people from LA are moving, LA is a really hard town and, Nashville's growing and it's a good place to start and get your foot in the door and people want to help here. People are so nice here too. It's weird. I love New Orleans, but they weren't as nice as the people in Nashville.
That's good
But
to hear.
yeah, no, I think that's kind of the driving force is we saw the industry growing here. The opportunities are just endless. People, are, always wanting to work together. And it was definitely a leap of faith because it was truly, but LA or Nashville, like, what are we doing? But I also was thinking about family. My dad lives in DC, so I was like, "Ah, LA's far and Nashville's only 9 hours away. I can drive that easy."
Easier.
Yeah, easier. You get used to it. I go home pretty often. I work for myself from home, so I try to go home as much as possible. But now, of course, he's moving to Greece, so there's going to be a little difficult to drive to Greece.
Oh wow, is he from there?
Yes, yeah, both of my parents are Greek and he has a new girlfriend now and he's, very happy with her and I'm very happy for him and he's like retiring and he just wants to be home. Like his sister's there and it's just family. It's where our home is. I was raised military, so we bounced around a lot, but Greece has always been home for us. So
Oh, cool. As soon as you said that you were Greek, I was like, I can see that.
yeah.
Just from
Oh,
looking at pictures of you and just maybe reading between the lines of the little bit of background that I know about you. But yeah,
oh,
I was going to comment, and I've said this before on the podcast, but I think the Nashville canary in the coal mine for me was when my friends who lived in Austin forever moved
mm.
to Nashville.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Everyone in the industry is like thinking about moving to Nashville or moved to Nashville and they're all here. It's
Hmm.
crazy. There was a statistic that I had read about, I think last year, and it's probably grown since then, where at least I think 300 people a day move to Nashville or something absurd. Like it's an absurd number. I'm like, no wonder there's the streets are crazy. People do not know how to drive because everyone's from different parts of the freaking world. So it's wild.
My
Just a lot of
understanding
people.
is that driver's education doesn't exist anymore.
Oh no, no, what are you talking about? This is driver's education.
I know, I know. So, was your first release in 2021, or kind of what felt like your first official release, or did you have things before that?
My first release, I released Messy, and I think that was in 2021? Gosh, I moved here. Wow, Lord. It was either 2021 or 2022. I don't, oh no, no, you are right. It was 2021.
Okay.
Gosh, I can't even like get my timeline straight. My first release was Messy and love the song. Definitely not the direction that my music has gone in or the direction that my music is going in. But yeah, I really didn't do anything for my music until I got here. I wanted to get as much knowledge and experience in the industry on the other side before I paid attention to my own project. And that's kind of what I've been doing for the past 3 years. So yeah, Messy was number one, first release.
I know I listened to it, and I listened to several of your songs. So it's messy when you said it's not where where the direction has taken you, but is that the one that's, boy, I guess I want to say blues based, a little more blues based, or how would you
I,
characterize it? I'm wondering if it's the song I'm thinking of.
I think you might be thinking of Alley Cat Man.
Oh, yes, 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 I
He
am.
told me he loved me and I got attached. Mama had nothing and daddy had less. That one.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's Alley Cat Man. That's the love of my life. Alley Cat Man was a song that I started writing it at like age 15. I had the verse and I play piano. I'm classically trained on the piano, and um, I mean, blues always spoke to me. Blues is the root of everything for me. I love blues. If I could just do blues, I would. I'd love R&B in the direction I'm going in, absolutely, but blues is genuinely like where my heart lies. That's just, I could talk about blues forever. But anyway, Alley Catman was one that was a huge deal for me. Like it was the song that I had been wanting to release for years and the one I wanted to work on for years. I have a lot of inspiration from, old blues songs like St. James Infirmary. I kind of reference that in the song. And I have a real trumpet, like real trumpet players in the song, and not a lot of software instrumentation. I wanted it to feel very authentic
Hmm.
and very bluesy. And I will continue to put blues music out. I am trying to put a stronger focus into more modern, like pop R&B, because I do have ambitions to be, in a different level of where I'm at and
You
what
you
blues can be able
have
to afford.
I'm laughing. You have ambitions to be noticed. Just
Yeah,
kidding.
gosh.
I love blues too, and in fact, I've been probably one of the newer things I've done is something I've done before, but I was doing some performances with a Chicago blues style guitarist and singer named Johnny Bergen, and it's and partly because I just have not devoted, well, definitely because I've not devoted as much of my life to that style of music, but also the times that I've done it have been kind of compressed in terms of short notice, and so it's been it's a it's a lot of work to actually get the nuance of the style, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think you know, it's a very niche genre. It's the root of music in my in my humble opinion. I think blues is really, I mean, blues is the reason behind rock and roll and country music and everything that we do today. Blues is in R&B. I mean, heavily it's rhythm and blues. It's the backbone of music, and it is difficult. You have to have the right type of styling, the vocals have a huge part to play. I'm like, you can't be a blues vocalist without having like those color undertones, like having the bluesy voice. It just doesn't, it sounds cheesy, if you're not in that headspace and you're not the right type of person to do it. I think anyone can do music if they want to do music, but if you want to be a blues artist, you have to be very talented. You have to be, you have to dedicate time, and you have to research and listen to the greats. You have to listen to Muddy Waters. You have to, listen to Billy, and you have to Billie Holiday, sorry, not Billie Eilish, but like, the greats.
I knew who you meant.
Okay, good. For those out here listening to this podcast, just making sure that I'm not talking about Billie Eilish. I do love her, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, yeah.
But I was raised listening to like Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath and Tom Waits and Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday, Muddy Waters, Robert Lee Hooker. My dad was super into blues, so I always gravitated towards it and always sang the blues when I was like 7, 8 years old. I would be singing the blues, and it's just always been a huge part of me as a musician and just as a person in general. So it's a hard genre. I'm just rambling now, but I do love the blues.
As do I. I'm kind of coming to it late in life. I mean, I've always loved the rock bands that had blues influences. You mentioned Led Zeppelin and the
Oh yeah.
Rolling Stones and all these other bands that took all their what they did from blues, but playing things like Chicago blues
Hmm.
and listening to other styles of blues from a little closer to its origins anyway. Yeah, it's a lot of fun to just now be appreciating it. I'm like a little kid starting over with the appreciation of music and something I hadn't spent a lot of time in when I was younger. So I read that you've been playing piano since you were 5. Do you play other instruments as well?
I do. And I realized I said Robert Lee Hooker and I meant John Lee Hooker. I just want to make that edit.
It's so funny. I didn't even catch it, and I should have, but I
Oh,
didn't. It didn't even make me blink.
I was thinking of Robert Johnson and I was thinking about John Lee Hooker, and I just like take my blues card away from me immediately. I'm embarrassed. Can you reiterate your question though? I just needed to like fix that really quick.
That's funny. No, it's funny. Take my blues card too. I didn't even blink. So I read that you started playing piano at 5. Do you play other instruments? You said yes, and then
Yeah,
what?
yeah, I do. I play piano very proficiently. Like I said, you said it. I've been playing since I was 5. I play guitar. You're gonna laugh at me, but I love having long nails. So I can't really play guitar as often as I'd like to. Right now, I don't have any nails, so I'm definitely playing my instruments a little bit heavier than usual. But piano is like the biggest instrument for me. Guitar, it's more so like for fun for me. I do sampling as well, so I'll create some samples with guitar and stuff like that, but I don't really do that for my own music. But I do all the piano and all the composition for all of my music.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I should probably go back to something we were talking about earlier, and we got into your education, but the sync contract. I
Mm.
I think I also in my mind, as soon as you said you worked in the music industry, and when you were describing school, I'm like contacts, relationships. You were there with the right people at the right time. Is that more or less how you went down that path, or was there something special beyond that?
First, the sync.
Hmm,
Uh,
hmm, hmm.
so it honestly, it's from not necessarily from like schooling, but I mean, that's definitely what I knew I had to get into in order to be a musician that isn't starving. It's sync is how people make music, money in the music industry. You can play shows and you'll make money that way, but I have to pay my band. So I don't really take any money home from shows usually, um, which is fine. I'm definitely not the person that's like, I'm in the music industry to make money. That's absurd. You know, I I got into this sync opportunity because I was talking to the sync company that is working with me now about working with their clients to do marketing. So for my PR team that I work for, and I was like, man, I have to put myself out there. I'm trying to make those connections, and the whole reason I'm doing PR is to network. Everything I do within the music industry, I have my ambitions in the forefront. Like my goal is for my music. And so every opportunity, I try to divert it to my music however I can as well. So when I connected with this company, I was like, also, I'm a musician, would love to pitch you my music and see if it's something that you guys would be interested in pitching yourselves and what have you. And I shared my song Johnny with them and they loved Johnny. They were like, we don't have music like this in our library. We have been looking for like an R&B artist to work with. And I was like, well, you found one. I'm
Hmm.
like, I'm right here. And his name's Roland. He's like the head of the sync part of the company. And he sent me an email and he's like, hey, could you send over the wave file and like the files, the session files and stuff? And I was like, yeah, okay. So I sent him the session files and the every single one of my songs instead of just Johnny. I sent him everything. And I was like, you know what? If he doesn't want, if he only wants Johnny, that's fine. But I want to give the opportunity to get everything picked up. And they ended up moving forward with all of my songs, which
Oh,
is great.
great.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
awesome.
very, very grateful. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope we get a placement soon. One of my goals in life is to get like Alley Catman into like a 007 movie or something. I think that'd be so perfect.
That would be great.
Right?
Would be great. Yes. If you are anything like me, you struggle to keep your energy level steady, especially in the afternoon. I love coffee, but try not to drink it after around 10:30 in the morning. Making music, creating new podcast episodes, writing subscriber emails, and producing videos requires a lot of focus. I'm talking about my productivity and creativity here. Well, I found something called Magic Mind. After trying it, I found it to be the ideal fix for my afternoon energy focus needs. It's ideal to me because it's easy to drink and it tastes great. Magic Mind has a short list of high quality ingredients that will intrigue and likely help you. I think matcha may be the difference maker for me, but there are others, including Bacopa monnieri and cordyceps mushrooms. Intriguing, right? I really like the taste of Magic Mind, and I felt really great after taking it, and I'm not even good at taking supplements. I encourage you to check it out, especially if you struggle to stay focused like me. Magic Mind will help you gear up to crush your 2024 New Year's goals and aspirations fully focused. You can get 1 month free when subscribing for 3 months at magicmind.com/JANTUM. Use discount code TUM20 for an extra 20% off, which gets you to 75% off. This only lasts for 10 more days, so hurry up and get it before it goes away. Again, visit magicmind.com/JANTUM to get 1 month for free and an extra 20% off. Use the discount code TUM20, as in the Unstarving musician and the number 20. This will all be in the show notes. Try it out. You'll like it.
Well, I was going to ask if you consider yourself a pop and blues artist. And I guess yes, but also R&B, yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, the direction I'm shifting. I'm definitely shifting. Like you said it, I want my music to be noticed. I'm trying to enter a different, I'm trying to be strictly R&B. Always gonna have blues influences in everything that I do, and I will be releasing like strictly blues songs here and there. But my main focus right now is strictly R&B, like pop R&B.
It's kind of puzzling that blues is, like you said, a niche. This guy I mentioned earlier, Johnny Bergen, he's a road dog and he's been doing it for a long time. And we've had these discussions that it's definitely, definitely a niche. He's kind of, some of his peers are, people you've heard of who've since passed away. He's not terribly old himself, but it's just fascinating how it's almost always been that way. I mean, there are these guys that sort of cross over into this popular electric form of it, some of whom do okay, some of whom do quite well, but it's just strange, isn't it? But I guess jazz is worse.
Yeah. No, it's that's the thing. It's confused. I mean, I listen to weird music. I will always listen to weird music. I listen to heavy metal as well. Like I like sludge metal. Jeez, I don't know why I'm saying this. I listen to like sludge metal is literally it's metal and blues. It's chill metal. We can just look up Electric Wizard. They're one of the biggest bands in that genre. And
Electric Wizards.
Electric Wizard, gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm just gonna apologize in advance. I don't know if you're gonna like it, but it's definitely out there. But like I said, blues is just the root of everything, and I don't understand how people aren't obsessed with the blues. You know what I mean? Ella Fitzgerald, for example, I know she's like jazzy blues, but she is one of my biggest inspirations, especially vocally. She is one of the best vocalists in the world of ever. I think she's the best vocalist ever to do anything. I love her so much. But just the way that she sings and the control that she has on her voice, it's like, I don't understand how blues isn't more popular, but whenever you take a step back and you listen to popular music nowadays, it's basically all blues now. Like you listen to Christina Aguilera and the riffs that she does, listen to Beyonce and the songs that she's putting out, like it's basically blues. It's just done differently. It's modern blues, in my opinion. R&B, I mean, you're listening to SZA and Kali Uchis, whom another woman that I'm deeply in love with. She's amazing. They have so many blues like undertones, and I'm grateful for that as well, because I feel like there's a bigger opportunity for my vocals, my voice, my sound in general to do well, because I feel like we're entering this space in the music industry where different genres, are having more blues undertones. You look at any genre, like even hip hop, and there's a hip hop artist, his name's Fredo Bang, or just Fredo. He has this song that I covered. It's so funny. He shared my cover on his story and I freaked out. It was so cool. Snoop Dogg's Snoop Dogg follows him. So I now know that Snoop Dogg is in love with me and he's heard my voice. That's all I care about. Um, fingers crossed. I think that's crazy. But you listen to his music and you listen to the instrumentation, and he has like blues piano in his like trap hip hop records. And it's just like it's there. It's there, but no one realizes it. It's cool.
Yeah, and you know what? I guess it always has been
Yeah.
underneath and influencing everything. So that's good. I don't know if I
Yeah.
can say the same for jazz, although I hear that sometimes too, but not as much. Not as
Right.
much.
Right.
Where do you draw inspiration for your look and your fashion choices?
So many people. So I consider my aesthetic as far as like what I look like very Jessica Rabbit. Jessica Rabbit's a huge influence. Just curvy, sexy, seductive, sultry, goth luxury. That's kind of like just like buzzwords, you know. Sabrina Claudio is she's a pop artist and she does a lot of like lingerie looks while it's still being, you know, maybe not modest, but like more wearable lingerie items with like gloves and feathers. And I love that. She's a huge inspiration for me there. But I'm very much into burlesque. I'm a big, big, big fan of Dita Von Teese, and I like Dirty Martini. I love burlesque. I mean, it goes with the blues music too. You know, I think it's so seductive and beautiful and just a phenomenal art form that I've always been very keen on. And so, you know, that's a huge inspiration behind what I do as well, as far as like outfits. And, you know, I wear all black all the time. It's just my normal daily, like you look in my closet and it's just like different shades of black. And um, so like even Fran Fine from, oh my gosh, what's that show? Oh my goodness. I am having so many brain farts today, but you know who I'm talking about, Fran Fine. Oh my God. You know who I'm talking about, the nasally voice.
Um, I think so, but I thought her last name was something different than that. But yes, I think I know who you're talking about. Yep.
She's a huge inspiration. She, you know, bombshell cool pieces like cheetah print and feathers. I love it. Like Betty Page, you know, I love vintage. I love couture. I love, you know, designers like Mugler and Schiaparelli. Like that high fashion editorial look, but it always has to be like dark, romantic, and seductive. You know, I'm very particular on my style. Um, and I think that is coming more and more to fruition as I go by and like learning more about myself as an artist and the brand that I want to perceive. So I guess like to sum it up, it's like it's goth luxury, you know,
Yeah,
black but luxurious.
I like it. Yeah, and I definitely know Fran Fine, and it's so. Oh, wait. You know, I'm confusing with her. Tell me if it's the same person.
Mhm.
Fran Drescher? Is are they
Um,
is
I
one a
don't
character
know.
name and the other one is let me see.
I don't know.
Was she on
Fran Dresser?
Drescher?
Drescher.
Drescher.
Yeah, that's her. That's her real name though.
Oh, I've
Yeah.
always known her as Fran Drescher. Okay, so is Fran Fine the nanny name or something? The character name?
Yeah, that is
Okay,
her name in The Nanny.
got it.
Yeah,
She, you
that's
know
so.
who also comes to mind, but I think I don't know if they are any parallel stylistically, but the Latin version of her, I'm already forgetting her name. Oh my God. Hopefully it'll come to me later.
Yeah, just text me in like a week and be like, I didn't remember.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
me.
Exactly. So you seem to be doing quite well on social media. I guess that has, I was going to ask, inquire like, what are you doing? But I imagine you've learned a lot from the whole PR business and
Yeah.
school. So in terms of the following, how does the following impact, um, like conversion for either shows
So
or,
yeah,
or
streams.
people
Yeah.
engaging with you or sales of whatever you're selling these days?
Social media is pivotal. It's something that I spend a lot of time researching. I have friends who are doing really well on socials, hundreds of thousands of followers. And, I I definitely try to put myself in rooms with people who are doing better than me so that I can learn and network and etc. But social media is so pivotal for the music industry right now, and it makes such a difference. I'll have a video go well, I'll have a video do well, and then my stream numbers, like my monthly listeners, will go up by 1,000 or 4,000 or 5,000, and then um as far as like creating that fan base as well, like going live on TikTok. I'm sitting at I think almost 28,000 on TikTok right now, which I'm very grateful for. But it's tricky, I'm stuck in the hole of 300 views right now, but I have a video on there that has like 2.1 million. It's just crazy. And people's attention spans are just wild nowadays, and social media is forever changing. And you know, this does well. No, this does well. And you got to do this. It's just a constant battle. And it's hard as an artist when you want to be just an artist. Like, I don't want to be an influencer. I don't want to be a social media person, but it is required, you know.
But
But
it
it
helps
does.
that you're doing as well as you are,
Oh, thank
for
you.
the things that you are doing, I'm sure. So while I'm thinking about it too, athenaofficial.com, and it looks like Athena Official is your handle on just about all the social platforms that you're on, including TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and YouTube.
Yes.
So
I made it very easy
yeah,
for
that's
you.
awesome. That's awesome. And good call on the spelling of your name. Oh yes, and that's
Yeah.
Athena is spelled in this case for those of you listening and looking, Athxna, which is why I asked you straight up, how do you pronounce this?
Yes, yeah, I just have to make it a little, I have to throw you guys off just a little bit.
Well, it's memorable too, and I don't know how I didn't think of it. I'm sure if I would have dug around a little bit, I might have seen or heard someone say your name, yourself included, possibly. Um, anyway, yes, good to know.
No, I
So
appreciate
I've been writing about for my email subscribers, music publishing,
hmm
and your problem. And I don't ask about it often. It comes up. Aspects of it come up, as you can imagine, because publishing is a big topic, right? A big theme. It's
Yeah.
very dense.
Yeah.
What are I imagine you're a great person to ask because of school and work and all that. But what are your thoughts on publishing? Where is your attention on music publishing?
I'm actually just now getting into that. I have a couple contacts that I'm utilizing to make those connections. It's just another really good way to get out there. You have to utilize everything. It's quantity and quality for every aspect of the music industry. And getting into publishing is a really good way to network and connect with people and get yourself out there even more, making those, long-lasting connections, and the exposure as well is just so important, visually and commercially. And a lot of people don't think about music publishing. They think immediately. Like I talk to musicians every single day for my job, and they don't know what music publishing is. They think of sync immediately, and it's like, okay, I want to get my music into like TV shows and movies and stuff. I'm like, that's phenomenal, but like, are you paying attention to other parts of the music industry that you should be? Like your social media? Are you paying attention to, publicity and et cetera, like you're saying? But I haven't really ventured too far into it quite yet for my project right now, because I guess I just hadn't gotten to that point yet where it would make sense for me. And, there's really no rules. You can get into it whenever it works best, but I wanted to be at a place where my brand and everything was a little bit more established, and I felt comfortable with the music that I'm putting out, and I felt like I have a direction, so that people would be more inclined to work with me,
Hmm.
Same with managers. People think they need a manager as soon as they start releasing music, and they don't. But like I said, yeah, it's so funny that you're bringing this up, because right before our call, I messaged a contact of mine, and she was like, "Hey, I have someone that I want to introduce you to that does this publishing." And saw your stuff and once you got on a call, I'm like, okay, let's do it. Like now that's my next goal is to get into that side of things because sync is locked in now. So yeah, good timing.
And do you have an idea of what that looks like, or have you developed a specific interest within publishing yet, or is it all like too new?
It's so new. I really don't have, I want to talk to people. It's not something I've ever really touched on in general. So, though obviously I'm educated on it, it's not something that I have personally experienced
Sure.
in any way, really. So, I have not really, I don't know the direction. I want to cultivate a couple different people and talk to them about it and see like where the industry is heading for it and kind of what it looks like because I'm a newbie, man. I'm a newbie with it. I'm always looking to learn and expand and grow, and this is just another way to do that. But yeah, I'm really not super knowledgeable in this side of the music industry yet, but I will be. Give me a couple months, come back. We'll get in another call and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, and like as you alluded, it's changing like everything else with music. That's the first thing I gathered as I started reading up on it to be able to write anything. And I'm having to take it in really small pieces because it's very dense. There are a lot of layers, and hopefully, things aren't changing so fast that I'm I end up writing about things that are like, well, that's not even that's not even the deal right now. But yeah, I guess I'll have to check that with my own reading and research. But anyway, thanks for sharing that though. Anyway, and good
Yeah,
luck with it. I'm sure it's a whole new world to get
it
into, I
is.
think.
It
Yeah.
really is. It's so technical, it's a lot of percentages and it's just another way. Like I said earlier, I have two I have two like mottos, especially with the music industry. It's like I said, quality and quantity. You have to be putting out quality content at a consistent rate, whether that be working with these big companies or even just content on social media. But also my other one is baby steps. I am gonna get it tattooed on my forehead. I swear to God. We want to get to the big parts of the music industry and we want to be the next famous person, but it's like it takes time. It takes so much time and effort and making those efforts and those small steps. And that's kind of what I'm wrapping my head around, or I have been, over the past 3 years of working on this project and trying not to get ahead of myself, so I'm trying to, keep my sanity and also still have the motivation and the perseverance to do the things that I need to do to be successful in the industry. And it is just touching on every part of it, whether it be performing, releasing music, doing sync and licensing, starting to get into publishing, doing merch, creating your brand, doing social media. You have to do all of it. You have to. There's no getting around it. You've got to do it.
It's nuts.
Yeah, it's a
Poor
lot.
poor music artists. Poor us.
Yeah,
No
no, for
matter
real.
what level you're at.
No, seriously. Oh my gosh. But that's why I've really made it my goal to work within the music industry as well because when you make solid connections, when you're working with people that like you and that want to support you and that you do stuff for them as well because you're knowledgeable and you have things to offer, it makes things a lot cheaper. People want to work with you, they care about you, they care about your project, they want to be a part of what you're doing, and then I've put myself in the position where I can do that for them as well. I started a business in August where it's AK design. I do website design, graphic design, stuff like that. And I do a lot of trade, photographers, videographers, etc. Even outside, like my nail girl, I fully believe in trade. I love trade for trades. And I think with the music industry being as expensive as it is today, I've really tried to put myself in a position where I can do quality content consistently without breaking my bank because I'm working with people that believe in my music and want to work with me because I'm, there to support them as well. So,
I think it's a great approach.
well, thank you.
All right, I'm going to wrap us up with a couple of questions that may or may not prompt any thoughts about music, but yeah, here we go. So when was the last time you did something you've never done before?
Like with sync specifically, or not sync, with music specifically?
No, not necessarily.
And something I've never done. Oh my goodness. I try to do something new every day, I guess, but I mean, I I started to learn how to crochet. I
Talk about
very
throwback.
Yeah, I love crochet. I just screw music. Let's just talk about crochet now. We don't have to mention music anymore. Crochet is my heart. It's always what I have. It's what I care about. No, um I'm so into it. It's so dumb. All my friends make fun of me. I'm like, you're making fun of me, but I'm making you a cow hat and you're gonna love it and you're not gonna spend $40 on someone else. I'm gonna make it with love. But I've that's been big for me is music is my entire life, so I'm trying to like do things outside of it too, so that's why I started doing like stuff like that. But I don't know, I've been very like consistent with stuff lately. I've been very like, what is it, like nose to the ground, whatever. I've been
Hmm.
trying to just focus on this stuff, but yeah, nothing comes to mind other than crochet.
I like that. What inspired you to do it?
I have no idea. I think I have a friend who is very much into crochet, and I just saw the cool stuff she was making. I'm like, you can make anything. Like you can do anything. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna be roasted for mentioning crochet in a music industry interview. I swear. All my friends make fun of me with crochet. They're like, yeah, I bring it everywhere. It's pathetic, but yeah, no. Yeah.
Hopefully they listen to this interview so they can
Oh yeah, I'll send it
have
to
a
them.
good
Be like,
time.
hey, just skip to the end. I'm talking about the important stuff.
That's great. Okay, and then what's something you believed at some point in time that you've changed your mind about, say, in the last few years, for instance?
That I can do it alone. I always was like not wanting to, I'm Greek, I'm very stubborn. I just wanted to do everything on my own. I wanted to make my own way, was like important to me. My father's military, and he's very kind and very like supportive and whatnot, but it was always like, I need to prove myself. I want to prove myself to my dad and my mom, but my dad primarily, I guess, because mom is, it's just different, moms and dads and stuff. But I don't feel that way at all now. I think I ask for help all the time. I always look for people who are more intelligent than I am in certain matters that I need assistance with, and because I want to learn, I want to expand, I want to work with people who are going to help me, get to the next level of my career, and then I will pass it along. And I try to. It's one of the reasons I love my job so much, working in PR, because I talk to a lot of artists who are just starting, and now I have so much more knowledge from learning from other people and asking for help that I can do that now for others. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I think that's the music industry to its core. You take away all the greed and the craziness of it, and I mean, music is a beautiful thing. That's what really matters here. And so, I mean, that's a huge change over the past couple of years. I've realized networking and working with people and asking for help. And, I think that's huge, huge. And I can't believe I ever thought that I could do this alone. It's crazy.
That's probably fairly common, although I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe a lot of people just never let go of that. I can do it myself, or just I have talked to people that have figured out how to DIY just about every facet of what they're doing in music that they can, which that's common for sure. But
Yeah.
I know an artist who's done quite well. And I think he might be in Nashville, but he does have a partner, so they have DIY'd a lot of stuff. However, the last time I talked to him, he had aligned himself with someone for sync to help
Hmm.
work on the relationships for him, and he just so it was kind of a turnabout of his philosophy for that one thing, and maybe
Mm.
he finally reached that point where he's like, okay, I can't do this all by myself, or we can't do this all by ourselves.
Yeah. No, that's the beauty of it though. You get to a point, you know, I mean, for me, it was like stubbornness, but it was also like I got to a point where I wanted, like, I can do everything in my house. I record vocals, I can sing over tracks. I have my own little studio at my house, and then I do my own photos. I've done my own lyric videos. You know, I've tried to do everything, but it does get to a point where you want to have a level of professionalism that you can really only get from working with other people. Like before our call, I was out and I met a videographer to talk about working on a music video for Crazy that's coming out next month. And, you know, I was like, I was thinking about doing this alone, but the ideas that I have for this song and for the music video are vast, and it will not be executed in a professional and better way if I do it alone. Yeah, I need help. I need someone to do it with me. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to work with people like that want to work with me. Because like, I mean, I could do it. I could definitely do it alone, but I don't want to. I don't want to. I want to work with people that are better than me at it, you know? I do.
Yeah, and it feeds in nicely to your networking aspirations. So
Yeah, exactly. And he's Greek, so we're best friends now. We're basically family.
that's great. Well, good luck with your next release. It was really nice talking with you.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
The pleasure was all mine. If you do not yet have a website for your music, check out Bandzoogle. It was created to help musicians and bands build their website and manage direct-to-fan marketing and sales. Bandzoogle has amazing design options, a commission-free store to sell music, merch, tickets, and more, plus tools that can capture detailed fan data for you. Try it free at bandzoogle.com. Use the promo code ROBONZO, ROBONZO, to get 15% off your first year. Thank you for listening. You can leave us feedback, questions, comments, complaints at unstarvingmusician.com/feedback. If you enjoyed this podcast, please follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. If you love this podcast, please visit unstarvingmusician.com/crowd sponsor to learn about the many ways of showing your love and support. Your support does indeed equal love. The series music you heard in this episode is New Gods Part 2 by yours truly. Find links for all the places to hear the full version with vocals by yours truly at robonzo.com. Find links for all the people and things talked about in this episode at unstarvingmusician.com. Peace, love, and a whole lot of gratitude.